Hi, I'm Ivan. I'm an interactive communication student. With me presenting today is Mo. She's a computer science major, and we are 2/5 of a team that includes Michal, Yarden, and Bab from communications and computer science and psychology. We were composed together as a team as part of the prototyping course at the Media Innovation Lab. And we're here to present to you our project, which is called Sadie, which is something that is basically wanting to help you simply sit straight. Okay, so I'm just going to ask all of you, just before we start, to push your pelvis against the back of your chair, to have your feet 90-degree angle to the floor, with your feet firmly placed on the ground, your shoulders placed above your hips. Yeah, everybody got it? Cool. So now we're ready to start. So the problem that we started with is what's called sedentary lifestyle. This is basically the epidemic of the 21st century. What does this actually mean? Nowadays, people spend long hours sitting in front of computers, TVs, in the car, wherever it is, without engaging in physical activity very often. And this has some very severe negative effects in the short term and in the long term. Basically, it can cause mental fuzziness, tiredness, local aches and pains. It can also actually increase the risk of heart failure, of diabetes. It can cause poor vascular circulation and muscular atrophy. So these are very severe things. And this derives not just from the fact that people sit for a long time, but also from the way that they sit and how they're positioned. Okay, so basically, we're not the first one to try and solve this solution, this kind of problem, this phenomenon. So we went and checked what's out there. And our research concluded in the fact that the solutions today that exist can be divided to about 4 categories. The first is stand-up desks and adjustable tables, which you can find in companies like Wix, like Facebook, which they provide this diversity for their employees, so they can decide to, for example, get up and work standing and not have to sit all day long, trying to prevent this kind of a problem. Another category is the smart chairs and ergonomical chairs, which basically try and position you in a good posture and keep you there. But what they do is actually, it's not very engaging. It's a passive way of trying to solve this problem. The third thing is mobile and web apps, which what they try and do is to get employees to get up out of the chair and maybe stretch a little or take a drink of water or something, so they're not sitting for extended long periods of time without noticing. The fourth category is pretty obvious. Obviously you can reduce these effects by just doing physical activity, just going outside and being active, but it doesn't cancel out the effects of you being sitting down all day in your office. We actually also found a small niche, which is not really a category. It's kind of a new emerging niche, which consists of products like Lumo and Upright, which is an Israeli startup actually, which what they do, they're under the category of wearables. And they have actually developed devices that you can put on your body or on your clothing, and they give electrical impulses to try and have you sit up straight or correctly if you're sitting poorly. After we did this market research, we also wanted to find out a little bit more about who our users are and what the kind of environment our product should be in. So we did surveys and interviews with different types of people, and the conclusion we came to was that people mostly are troubled by this problem when they're sitting at work for long periods of time. They're not so troubled by it when they're sitting at home in front of the TV or in the car, even though those are also extended periods of time. But this is where people are actually having trouble with, is when they're working in the office. And from that, we basically thought, who are the people who sit the longest? Who are the people who spend the most time of their day sitting statically without actually moving? And that's how we got to software developers. I mean, there are other people who also sit for very long periods of time, but they sit quite statically for a very, very long time during their day, so they're kind of at high risk. So this solution is something that would be very relevant for them. After we kind of did all this research and put it all together, we established 3 design guidelines. The first one was that our product needs to be integrated in the workflow. Most of the solutions today are quite disruptive. So if I'm in the middle of doing some kind of task at work and something is beeping on my screen or on my phone or on my app or something, it's normally quite disruptive. People don't like to be disrupted. And what happens is that after a few weeks, people just put it aside. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have something buzzing or like in their face or in their ear or whatever that is. So that was very important. The second thing was that people want real-time feedback. We live in an instant society. Instagram, Facebook, messages, the blue tick on WhatsApp. You know, we want something happening now. We don't want to have data that we receive at the end of the day tell us we did something wrong 4 hours ago. We want something to tell us right then and there if we're doing something wrong. The third thing that we found out is that, and this is what we did through looking at different products in the market nowadays, is that in order to really make an effect and change people's habits, we need to have some kind of an emotion impact. People need to have some kind of connection to our product, such as Apple has with its products. Like these people let the Apple product penetrate their life, change their habit, because they feel some kind of an emotional connection. So that's what we want as well for our product. So basically, in order to understand a little bit better how to get that emotional impact, we looked to psychological articles and theories. And what we found was something called the chameleon effect, which was something that was developed by Chartman and Ba in an article that they wrote in 1999. And this basically talks about the fact that human beings have a natural tendency to imitate and mimic their interaction partners. So if I'm talking now and I'm making facial gestures, there's a very big likelihood that if I smile, people will smile back. If I'm making hand gestures, people will talk to me and return hand gestures. Even like full-on behaviors we tend to take from the people we interact with. So that was something we wanted to really leverage and use and implement in the product that we designed in order to get the maximum response from the users in the interaction with the system.
So, I want to introduce you to Sadie. Sadie is a robotic object supposed to raise the awareness of the way the user sits. Sadie has two ways of action. The first action is recognition. Sadie recognizes the way the user sits in front of it. At this moment, we're not focusing on that stage. The second stage is imitation. At the imitation stage, Sadie is imitate the user. When we started to focus on the imitation features, we faced two approaches. The first approach called top-down. The top-down approach is believes that the atlas vertebra, that is the first vertebra of our spine, when it's aligned, all our spine will be aligned as well. The second approach, called bottom-up. The bottom-up approach believes that our waist area is the one who is the responsible to our alignment and our stability. As you can see, Sadie, we focused on the second approach, and Sadie has one X that is at the bottom of it. At the next Sadie prototype, we will probably have more X's. We'll now show you a short demo of how Sadie works. Yuval will sit in front of Sadie. Sadie scans Yuval and recognize the way he sits. When Yuval will change his posture, Sadie will change as well. When Yuval will sit straight again, Sadie will follow him. So to test how Sadie works, we started to do some user testing. We started by asking the users to turn on Sadie. Because we didn't decided yet how we want to turn on Sadie, we wanted to see what is the most intuitive way to turn it on. So we asked the people, and we saw some people raising their hands in front of it, looking for a button. Some of them even talked to it. We saw a lot of interesting things, but the most important thing we saw is that when Sadie did some gesture to the user felt some connection between him and Sadie. The next thing we wanted to check is that if Sadie, the feedback of Sadie is understood by the user. So most of the user understood very well and straight up as soon as Sadie were bending over. Some of them needed some help. Some of them even asked Sadie Sadie, what should I do? After realizing what is Sadie's function, some of them wanted to check what is the border of Sadie and started to play with it. It enhances our belief that people get Sadie's reaction as a good thing and want to play with it and love the reaction with it. At the end, we asked people to turn off Sadie, and we saw that everyone did the same as they did when they turned it on. Today, during our work, we're facing 4 main challenges. The first challenge is the session length. We're asking ourselves if people want to react with Sadie all day long, or maybe they want to do some short session during the day with Sadie. And we thinking that some of people won't like the fact that something is moving on their table all day long, but we haven't checked that yet. The second challenge is the feedback. We saw that most of the people get the feedback and understood it, but some of them didn't quite get it. So we want people to get immediately the feedback and to understand if it's a negative or a positive feedback. The third challenge is the design. We want Sadie to be a part of a natural workspace and not interrupt the user. So we're working now with the designers who help us to decide what material Sadie will be built from and what will be the size of it. The last challenge is the technology, and this is the hardest one. We don't know yet how we want to get Sadie to get all the input of how the user sits. And this is the main thing we're facing now. So if you like Sadie, you can scan this and follow our blog.